Hey, welcome. Thanks for joining. This is the home session for reducing stress. So I just wanted to throw this together to give like a really quick list of guidelines that you may want to follow if one of your goals is to reduce stress within your home environment so that you're just set up for more success when you're trying to live your life that is not stressed. And hopefully putting up some guardrails so that you have less times where you're being triggered into stress throughout your day or within your home. So that's what this session is about. So a couple of quick guidelines. The first one would be your visual clutter. This does make a difference. I know it's easy to think that it's not that big of a deal, but they have done tests and studies where they have monitored people and their stress levels as they rise and fall, and those particularly who had less visual clutter, things on the wall, the surfaces, they had better stress levels. They were lower. They did a study too where they had for women in the kitchen, like how much they were affected by just the stuff that is normally on the fridge. So even just like that, even though we don't think about it, it can make a difference if it's removed. So things like that, like clutter, pictures, all that stuff that we like to put on our fridge, maybe find a way to frame it and put it on the hall wall or some other area of the home that is a little bit more cohesive, and not in one of the high stressor zones. So it's common that like cooking supper, dinner time, or getting breakfast out for the kids, like in the kitchen is just such a high traffic area that there's more people coming and going, and there's often work that you're trying to do that's just definitely not a zone that you want to bring more of that visual clutter in, because you already have so much movement going on in there. You can think about your home like that too. Where's all the movement? And then in more of the still places, maybe put some of the beauty that you want to instill around you. So visual clutter, less is often more when it comes to your home setting with that. Another thing that comes up is just the life clutter. So it may be mail that gets piled up on the counters, it may be shoes that get kicked off by the kids, lunch pails that come home, whatever it is for you that ends up being just like that every day it's always here and it keeps coming back. That's your clutter thing, and you want to acknowledge that it is there and it's part of your life. That's okay, but find a home that is nearby and very easy for you to transfer all of that stuff over into. So for us, it looks like baskets for shoes right next to the door so that the girls can kick their shoes right off into the basket, and they know that that's kind of what we do. We don't wear the shoes in the house, we just kick them off into the basket next to the door. It's like having a area or a basket or a drawer put in your kitchen for like collecting mail or bills or different things like that, that you know that this is where they go. And then every evening you go through them and throw away what you don't need. Stuff like that will really help with keeping the clutter down when it comes to visual clutter. And I've got to get a swig of water here because of all the stuff in the air. All right, so number 2, bringing nature indoors really helps with stress levels. So think about bringing in plants, bringing in wood, so wood through decor, or if you have wood floors or walls, furniture. So the cool thing is they've actually looked at different people living in environments with plants and wood, and what they found is that stress is reduced for those who are living with more wood around them. So that's an idea, is just to incorporate more wood and plants. I believe, like, for me, I know for me, it makes me feel just more connected with nature, and I love that feeling. I love being outdoors, so that makes sense. But it's interesting that they've done enough of these to really be able to say there's something to it, and it is working very well for people as a majority. Just have plants and have wood, whether it be furniture or flooring or something, to help with reducing stress levels. Another thing would be, so number 3 would be in your environment. If you think about your environment being in one that you love, so like maybe a vacation, it could be a memory you have from your home that you grew up in. It could be a grandparent, or I don't know, but think about an environment that you love. It could even be an environment from town, like a coffee shop. But think about something that you just really love, being in that environment, and see how you can mirror and bring that environment into your home in little or big ways. It could be through the paint colors you select, or some lighting, or some method in your decor. It could be antique collectibles. Like, think of some way that brings that to life within your space. For us, just as an example, ours was vacation. I wanted our home to reflect that of vacation, because what I wanted to go to was a state of where I am triggered to emotionally meet and stay in a vacation mode of stress-free, having fun with my family. Yes, of course, we still do work, but I wanted that to be the trigger, not the other stuff. So, and we went to completely like easy cleanups, like, so the way we function with our meals and stuff, like, I try to keep it easy. It's got to be easy cleanup, the breathing space, feeling like we have time to enjoy the things we love doing, having those things around, and less of the other stuff. And that helps us to stay in that vacation mode. So that's just an example of how we set up our home to reflect a space that we love, and honestly helps us to live less into the natural state of maybe some stress, and really take a mind vacation to, like, away from stress and worry and work and stuff like that. Sorry, I was outdoors yesterday and definitely picked up some pollen or something. Okay, so number 4, setting the mood within your home. So I do this with 2 main things. So it's oils and music for me. I keep a playlist of stations, like all kinds, and I keep it going, some sort of music, but I use music to really cue my mood and my daughter's moods. So like, and just even to like the flow of our day. When we're doing school, it's much more peaceful and calm and background. When it's time to play, it's more upbeat and fun. And I have tunes that I play when I'm prepping their lunch or dinner. And it's just these ways to give subtle cues throughout the day of what we're doing for them, which helps me, honestly, when they're flowing into the day, rather than resisting the flow that I'm trying to enforce, I guess, or create for our home. Be the parent. So it helps them to kind of catch on to that, but it really helps us to keep our moods where we want them to be. We dance a lot together, and so it kind of keeps things fun. And another thing is the oils, diffusing. So I really love incorporating that. I have definitely experienced that they do change and help support great emotional states for me and my girls. So we kind of go by that to try to help with that emotional state and lessen stress. I definitely have some favorite blends, but I'm not going to get into that here. So a couple of things I wanted to run through was just like our nightly routine. So this is basically the checklist of what we do in a night, so that the next day we are starting off on a really good foot. And that really is actually the secret. If there's anything you take from this, the secret sauce is to start your day the night before, because it's going to set you up for success. When you get out of bed, you're already going to be a winner. And there's nothing worse than starting off your day in the loser position, because you already feel behind, you already feel defeated, and it can trigger you into stress faster than anything else. So you really want to start on top of your day by the night before. So this is my like shutdown routine I'm going to give you. So we clean up the kitchen. We don't leave dishes overnight. We at least have it all loaded. Sometimes, like if there's extra room in the dishwasher, we'll save it, because I know I'm going to have some breakfast plates. But it's all clean. We don't leave stuff in the sink. We have the table wiped down. It's all good to go. We have diffusers filled. So I go ahead and pre-fill my diffusers. Moms of young kids, you will know this. Breakfast time is like everybody is dying. So it's a really bad time to be trying to get yourself set up for the day and get the mood oils going. So one thing I do is I preset my diffuser. Often I'll fill them up the night before with whatever oils I think will be great to support us the next day. And that way, when I come out of the bedroom, all I have to do is push the buttons to like the diffuser that's in the kitchen and in the dining room, and we're good and we're supported. It makes it easy, and that's going while I'm getting their oats and stuff for breakfast. The other thing I do before bed is laundry is changed over. So what I mean by this is dryer is empty, and I start the load of wash. I typically am loading my washer during the day, and then at the end of the day, everything's that we've taken off from the day is loaded into the wash. Towels and rags from the kitchen, they're tossed in there too, and then I start that wash. Having the dryer emptied really does help though, because the next day, all I have to do to start being a winner on the laundry side is put the wet clothes from the wash into the dryer and press go, and then our wash basically throughout the day is we just collect the laundry items, and that really helps to keep that system moving efficient for us and all that. So that's basically my key things that like I do no matter what, and they keep us rolling on a really smooth start in the morning. I will say there was a time period, especially when my girls were really little. I'm thinking back to when I was pregnant with Anna Rose. River was not yet 3, and then even when she did turn 3 and I had our youngest, our 4th born after that, it was just a really tight zone of like the twins being really young, and River was still really young, and so like just what to feed our kids at that young stage when they're not very capable of being able to eat things without making a huge mess or being trusted with things. So sometimes eat without throwing it across the floor and the room. So like now we do a lot of oat breakfasts, like oatmeal and berries. But back then what really helped me was like making sausage balls on a Sunday. For the entire week I would do sausage balls, bagels, muffins, things that were really easy for my kids at that stage that they could eat and it not be on like the kitchen or the dining room ceiling at the time. So if you are in that young stage with really little kids, or if you find that breakfast is one of those stress triggers that you are fighting right now, go easy, figure out something that you can have basically prepped and ready, whether that's like even like pancakes and waffles in the freezer. Like go easy. It's more important that you and your kids start off on a really good emotional note that day, with stress not being the first thing out of the gate, than it is that they eat like a super healthy breakfast, in my opinion. Because if you get really stressed right out of the gate trying to make a healthy breakfast, well, you're probably going to blow the rest of the day. Just watch, like gradually it will kind of go downhill from there. So if you can relax that, if that is a big stressor, if breakfast is hard and stressing you out, relax that and get your momentum going for the day so that the rest of the day doesn't get blown on breakfast, stress-wise. So those are my main things that I wanted to give you as far as tips for reducing the stress within the home. And I know that's mostly for the moms there, but I wanted to share it.